Okay, the first step to setting up OBS is to make sure you know your consistent upload speed so you don't buffer and you don't have problems and you have a stable stream. So you're going to go to speedtest.net or any other, a speed test. Google it. It's simple. Go there, look for your upload, and just do a few tests, periodically, and continue to do them throughout the day. Make sure you get it stable, so you might have to readjust the settings here. So you're going to go to settings. And then once you get the settings, you're gonna basically that's the first thing. You want to make sure you know your base upload speed because that's the most important because you're streaming. Now, then you want to make sure you go once you have that, and I'm gonna go straight to where you're gonna put that information so you know what I'm talking about. Now, right here is where you're gonna put that is under bitrate. Now, that's the most. I mean, the default might be perfect for everybody, but you literally just want to make sure you don't have to go below the default. Now, if you got 2.5, you're going to be fine. Unless you're looking to get more quality, more performance, you can look into that later. I don't really recommend it. This is kind of this is going to increase the utilization of your GPU. You really don't need cycle visual tuning, which if you hover over it, look, gives you a little enables. It tells you what it does, and then like look ahead. If you hover over it, it tells you what it does. So you can learn what they mean, but you really have to have the B frame set to 2. I know that. You have keyframes. B frames I just leave as default, but the keyframe intervals got to be set to 2. Excuse me. Auto, don't let auto, because auto doesn't know that you want to have the keyframe interval set to 2. And I've heard that multiple places, and it seems to work perfect. It does work perfect. So you're gonna have that set to 2, and then you're gonna have this is what I usually set it like it depends on I'm going 60 frames per second. If I'm trying to do a 60 frame, you got to make sure you can support the encoder is going to compress it. Try to compress it as much as it can to send it out. And so when you do the bit rate, if you can't send it enough of your signal and can't encode it, you're going to either overload your encoder or you're not going to end up, which will actually, YouTube will tell you not receiving enough information. So you want to make sure that if, depending on your output in your PC, this is what you want to be aware of. If you have like a really slow PC, you're gonna know it because CPU at the bottom down here. You see this down here, over there in the very, it's over there where it says CPU at the bottom right corner, and it'll tell you your frames per second. See if you see where my mouse is. I'm pretty sure I didn't cut that off. Hold on, let me make sure I didn't cut that off. Yeah, it's right down there at the very bottom. Let me enable the preview now. So it's right down there. You'll see the CPU percentages and the 60 frames or whatever frames. I recommend 30 if you don't have a fast PC. 60 frames is only going to make movement. It's personal preference. If you like 60 frames, I think 60 frames looks cool. It makes it cleaner. Makes it cleaner looking stream, but you don't need to go 60 frames unless your camera can support it. I am just testing it right now to see if I can get it, much better it looks, but I don't think, unless I'm moving my fingers really fast, and I don't want to see the skippiness. But 60 frames kind of just doubles the output, doubles the file size, makes it longer for it to get uploaded and everything else. So you don't need 30 frames. And when you get to your settings, you just got to make sure when you go here, so you already, I think I pretty much covered this. You just want to leave everything. You want to make sure presets. Now, the encoder, if you only have software, it's going to use more CPU because, you don't have your GPU is not going to be encoding everything. And that's what it's a graphics processor and not a central processor. So it does it more efficiently on it crunches the codes better. So that's what, if you have a CPU, or not, if you only have a CPU and you don't have a GPU, you'll see the list. So you just be aware that everything you use is going to use more. Like the higher you increase it, I would not go above 2 on there. And if you hover over it, it usually tells you, let me see. I'm not sure about that one, but you can easily Google that and give you a definition and just read it if you want to know more. I'm not going to go into details about that right now. And just leave the defaults for CBR and then a variable bit rate and constant bit rate. You want a constant bit rate. So, and I'm not sure, I can't remember what CQP means, but anyways, now the recording audio, I just leave that set to default. Don't worry about the audio. You don't need to bring that down. It's not going to affect it, but you do got to make sure that you add into the equation. Like if you can only upload your max upload is say 2 megabits or 1 megabit, 1 megabit, you're going to be struggling, and that means you want to make you can do it though, and you can do it on a slow PC because the less it's got to deal with, the more you're going to be able to do it. So you can do this on a freaking, probably if you set it right, you can do it on a 1 gigahertz PC with one, only on OBS Studios though, because it doesn't utilize a whole bunch of processing power. Like it doesn't take a whole bunch of memory like OBS Streamlabs. And I mean, it's just that all the other features, it just makes it, and there's so many other cool things that this has. I just wish it was a little bit better, but it's, it's free, so you can't complain. You would go to your canvas size and you can type in there manually your resolution, and make sure the resolution matches up to standard resolutions, because it's not going to work right. And make sure, especially if you have a slow PC, if you have a fast PC, you can rescale it. And then if you got the downscale filtering, it's pretty much self-explanatory right here. Like if you have a fast PC and you're trying to take a 4K monitor down to whatever, you're going to go down to whatever your processor can handle, like a 32. If you have a fast PC or a fast graphics card, a really good system, you can go to 32 and it's going to look good. And because it has down here, it'll have settings. I'll show you on the Streamlabs here in a second, Streamlabs OBS. And it's similar, everything's similar. So all you have to do is just set this up here. You got to set your pretty much that's all you need to really worry about when you're initially setting it up. And then you don't want to mess with any other settings until you get comfortable with it on this part. And except for the most important part is going to your YouTube. Once you sign in, it's just YouTube/live_dashboard. And once you get to that dashboard, you're going to look at the bottom, and you look, if you've ever been live before, if you've ever seen your dashboard, it's under your studio, the regular studio, on your account. You're going to go to your account and you're going to go to the studio, Creator Studio, and then it's under live streaming, or it's going to go live, and it's right there, and it'll, live stream now. And you just go down to the bottom, it's going to give you a preview. You can change your thumbnail there, but if you go down to the bottom, it'll have this, like the bottom of that page, you scroll down and it'll have your stream key, and it'll have your server. And you just want to make sure you copy that. And I know there's a couple other servers you can use, but we use the one that's right there because it's most likely the one that's closest to you, and that's what you want to use. And then you want to show the key to copy it, but don't ever share that with anybody. And don't worry about the user authentication, because you don't need that. So just leave this like it is. You can do custom server, or you can just go like to Twitch and just put your stream key in. It doesn't matter. Or not Twitch, but you know what I mean, YouTube. But you can stream on a lot of platforms on this. So, and I know like there's some other things for Twitch, and there's the other things you got to know. Like it's pretty much standard. If you use this set this up like this, you should be able to stream on any platform with this setting if it works on YouTube. Now the audio, I would leave everything default, except for, default, you can do that. And if it doesn't work, if you can't get it to work, select your device. I mean, if it doesn't work, usually default always works, and I try to make sure you go to your sound settings. You just go to your little icon right next to the clock, down at the bottom. It's not on this monitor, and I wish it was, but it's not my main monitor at the moment. And if you click, your sound button will be down below where the 60 frames is. It's not shown on the screen, but it'll be down there on the clock, and you right click on it, the right click button, and you'll bring up the sound menu, and you'll have like 2 tabs, and I can bring that up right now and show you, just to show you that this is what you want to do. So you're going to right click the sound icon on your taskbar, and you'll bring up this, you'll see it, the sound thing, and this is what it'll bring up. Now you want to set everything to default that you plan on using, and disable all the other sounds, so what you're going to hear. This way you don't get feedback or echoes or stuff like that might happen and that's a pain in the butt. Like I hear an echo, that's because and then not only that, if you're watching the preview and you have your desktop audio turned on, you're going to have feedback. So if you're not planning on playing music or listening to a live stream, and you're not re-listening to your own, just disable your output here and then re-enable it, or mute your output, and it'll mute it on OBS. So that's just one thing that you definitely want to make sure you're paying attention to when you're setting up. because yeah, and right here you can just easily right click and you can disable and you can set as default all that. Just right click on any device, you'll know it's your device because it'll have a meter like this. And I don't know if you can hear me still, because usually when you click on usually when you click on that, it disables the recording. It'll disable the recording, so it's probably muted for a second there. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I noticed it was doing it before. But yeah, it's simple as that. You just right click and you can select it. You don't need to worry about anything else. You can do a test to make sure it works, but I've disabled a lot of where they're not plugged in. But there you go. That's for the audio. Make sure you get the audio set up. That's very important. A lot of people don't know you can adjust your audio, and this is where a lot of people like, I can't hear you. You can't hear you. This is where you go, and you only have to worry about the top one and then the first mic. This one. So it's these two on regular OBS Studios. It's very similar, almost looks identical on the other one. Don't mess with the sample rate or anything. That'll mess you up because it won't like it. And on other devices, it'll confuse it. Like if you're using something else like a sound player or whatever. But so, and I recommend just make sure you scale down to your CPU and just pay attention to your CPU down at the bottom. You'll know it if you don't have a GPU, but you can scale it down and try not to scale, like, make these match. If you have a really slow PC, try to avoid trying to take something big and bringing it smaller. Keep everything identical, like your base canvas, and you can, I'm going to show you that, which you're going to do now. This is what you do with here. So pretty much I'm going to have to show you, well, it's going to be pretty, I can enable preview, but, and then I can, look, I'm going to show you, I can hide myself, and then I can hide the media source. You won't be able to see this, but, the point is you can pretty much like add whatever device you want here, just by clicking on the plus. And you got to realize this is the most important part, the basics, is you can resize anything and move any element. Like I can show myself over, so it really doesn't matter since it's already going to be, and if I hide everything, it's not going to show much. So, and you have the feedback. So I'm sharing this screen here, and that's why it's doing it. I'm sharing the screen. You're going to have the mirror effect, which looks kind of cool, but it's yeah, either way, I have to show you that what's going on and how to move these anyways. So either way, you just look at the first one, because all the other ones are just duplicates because I'm sharing the same screen. Now you can resize them just like a window, just like any paint program or any other thing. It's just, and they're not hard to move at all. You just click on the things. They've gotten a lot easier over this past when they've been updating it and stuff. They made it a lot easier. So you just got to realize you just have to click on that plus button here, and then what you see, don't pay attention to everything up there. Here, let me mute this. So here is, you want to go to whatever you want to, like you want a color source, like a color of a background. You want to make a background. You've got a gaming capturing card like an Elgato or it don't matter what it's called. You'll be able to select it there. Images. It's really easy. I'll give you an example. Let's just say I want to have capture my window. It's a window of an actual program or whatever. Or if I want a video capturing device, which would be like a camera or a place that, or a program that produces basically a device that puts out a capture. You can capture the video. So you can do that. You got scenes. You got this. You can do text, but it's pretty much just like this. You have an existing. All your existing ones will be listed here. If you want to create another one, you just hit OK, and then you set the settings. Now, if you've got Streamlabs and you want to set that up, it's pretty easy. I might make another tutorial. This is already getting really long right here. But you can make scenes, and then any scene you do, you can change all the sources, add sources from this scene, and you can play around with them and see how they work. You make multiple scenes, so you don't have to keep altering everything. Everything will move around. Like you want to make yourself small over here, you can kind of use the same source and just it'll be positioned on the second scene somewhere else. You can yeah, you can just organize it a lot better than I did here. I literally I don't know, I've just been messing around. I don't know why I have so many of the text GDIs, but so pretty much like you can easily go like this and go to filters, and filters are what you really want to get to know, and there's lots of filters. Like that's how you do the chroma key, and the chroma key is really simple to do, and I can show you really quick. Like if I go to my camera, which I'm using, this is my camera, it's a capturing device because I'm using Snapchat right now. I don't know because this is the way I have it set up right at the moment. But you got color key, which is very similar. You can, it's not the chroma key, but you don't even need this. Look, it doesn't even change anything. But I mean, you can, but it can help correct the color and you know, it can help just kind of correct stuff that doesn't look right. I don't know. I really don't see much of a reason to use the color key, to be honest. But the chroma key is what makes this work. You know, see, you're basically gonna go to defaults and you have green screen, and that's what it's gonna look like. See the shadows behind me? But that's what you're gonna have a problem with, is the shadows. I mean, but even though, see how I'm trying to get rid of them, they're like kind of bright. That's why I adjusted the gain on. You might have to play with your camera settings, but the less dark the shadows are, the better you are on the chroma key. But you just pretty much can add all sorts of chroma keys to anything, so don't get that twisted. You can add it anything, you can scroll anything, and like, no joke, you can just add all these things to it. And it's just all right here. You can adjust it up. This makes you invisible. It'll make the thing look see-through. You can change the contrast. You know, you can change a lot of stuff. Like, you can change your color. I can go to the color, well, the color key, actually, there's actually another setting where you can go like and add a color correction, and that'll turn you whatever color you want to, especially when your chroma key's on. And the same, I'm pretty sure the same here is if I think they're all together on this. I'm not sure. No, I think they're all in the order. So if my chroma key's down here, it's going to affect it last. And if they're top, the chroma key is going to affect it. Like, it's layers. So guys, you got to make sure you know that, girls and guys. You got to make sure that you know that the top layer of the list is your most, like, everything is like a sandwich here. You got to, you know, except for the scenes. Only the sources, or, well, I can't see myself, so I don't know which way direction I don't know if I have it flipped around, but everything is a sandwich. You got to realize you're building upon a sandwich. So if you don't see something, you just have to click on it and drag it. And this is the same way with OBS Streamlabs. Like, if I wanted the video capture device to be on top of everything, boom. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to enable, make sure I'm doing this right. So look, see, and I turned off the filter. So let me turn back on the filter, or fix my filter since it's not turned up enough. See? Bam. There we go. I think that looks good. And you're going to notice if you don't have good lighting and you don't have a good quality camera, it's going to look really flurry, and you got to get rid of all of it. It takes some time and lighting positionings, and it's literally the stuff behind you. Like the color that's not showing correctly behind you, and that's what it's doing. It's taking, you can do red, you can do blue, and the prominent colors of the spectrum: red, green, blue. And that's the RGB. That's what you can't. That's why you can't take out white. You can take out black though for some reason, but white I've not been able to do with a picture. I mean, I don't know. I've not tried black for an actual thing, which would be hard because then I'd be invisible. My black and my hair was kind of dark. My eyeballs are dark, so a lot of things would be see-through with black. But white's not going to work because it's all colors combined. Just so if you know, just get a little heads up on the chroma key if you didn't know anything about it. So the point is, and then you can just adjust the audio here, and you got to make sure in a studio mode will actually let you, so you can put transitions. And this is cool. This is another cool thing. You can add transitions with the studio mode, and you can set those up here, and you can fade in, fade out. You know, I would recommend you play and look around with these settings. It's not hard, but I'll make another tutorial if I on the transitions and stuff. But they work similar on OBS Streamlabs. But studio mode is really nice when you're switching over to different scenes. You can put like stuff in between to do it. But here's the difference between Streamlabs is pretty much like, see how I got the audio? It's the same simple setups, like but except for the fact that you can just log into your YouTube account, sign in. You don't have to worry about the stream key. That'll automatically be provided for you. You have the 2 servers already here for YouTube gaming. You have it. You don't have to. It just takes it from your login. It'll automatically grab it for you. Your output, same thing. Everything I said previously applies right here. The hardware. Here's the different hardware settings. Now, if you're stuck on software, you're going to see that this is the simple mode, and I recommend you just stick with the simple mode. And it's similar on the other one. I go to the advanced mode, but you can go to the simple mode and just make sure you just set the bit rate, and then you want to 2 keyframe intervals is very I think that's actually, you want to go to the advanced mode, to be honest, because you want to make sure that keyframe interval is set to 2 right here, and it wasn't. I haven't used Streamlabs for a little while because it was glitching out, and that's pretty much. Make sure it's on performance, and if it's on software, see, it looks a little bit different when you're on software, so you got to be aware of that. When it's on software, it has very fast, and very fast is where you want to be, because higher is less CPU, and very fast works very well for a lot of people. You can go faster, and then it'll actually use more CPU and save you bandwidth. If you have a fast PC, that might actually make quality a lot better, but it also costs you more CPU usage. But you got a fast processor, you got to realize you want to save as much processing power as you possibly can, because whatever you're going to do, unless you're just doing something, what if you want to show something on the screen? You got to be aware that you got to balance it out. You got to do the balancing act with these settings here. So if you just pay attention to what they're saying here and play around with them a little bit, you're gonna be fine. And if you just test them a little bit on a couple streams, make sure your internet, it's like I saying, you got to test your internet speed, make sure you're uploading, go with that. Now you got your recording. Yeah, you can just use it the same. What I like to do is make sure it's copying. You use the stream encoder settings, so it's using this, and this way when you can test your audio volume with a background video, or you have a background music playing and you want to just make a video, you don't feel like editing a movie, and you want to make something, you can have the background music playing, and then you can you literally can you can hear it without having to stream it to a private thing and go through it that way, because this is going to use the same encoders that it's using from there, and it's going to put it in the file right here and file folder right there. So that'll make it a lot easier for you to just test your audio, make sure it's sounding good for everybody else, so it's not you're doing the balancing act with online and having to delete your private streams for testing. And it's just, sometimes it takes a little bit longer doing it that way, but you can just go to that folder, test the file. So I think I covered everything. You got a lot of other options you don't really, but this is just a basic setup, get ready to go kind of stream. So I hope you guys hope this helped you guys out. I think I got everything except, oh, did I miss this? In both of the settings, in both OBS and Streamlabs, make sure you get this also. I think I said it. I'm not totally sure, so I'm gonna make sure I recap this real quick here. Just the screen size. You can manually type in a slower resolution, and if you want to find out what resolution you can do, you can go to a YouTube video and click on that little gear, and you can select the resolution. I can't remember them all by heart, but there's multiple like resolutions you can select from, and to select one even smaller than that, if you got a really crappy PC and a like a really crappy upload, you can still get it to not buffer, but you're gonna look a little smaller or a little bit more not quality, quality, but at least you'll be able to live stream if you have crappy internet. So I mean, it happens. We all have, like, we don't want to buffer, we want to use Streamlabs, but that's exactly what the encoder software does on the phone or on your on YouTube. Like if you're going on YouTube and you go live, it's automatically detecting your internet speed and it's adjusting accordingly on the fly. So, and on this, I know on I know you can change the bit rate, but some settings you cannot change on the fly on Streamlabs OBS. On OBS, I noticed it was recently allowing me to change the bitrate. I don't know what was causing it where I couldn't do it, but it was at one point grayed out where I couldn't change the bitrate. It usually grays this out when you go live, but I guess maybe they have updated it and I haven't tried doing it for a while. So anyway, so pretty much keep it similar to this, and unless you got something like, you gotta give it, the bit rate's gotta be what you're sending out. Like if you have a high quality stream, like you gotta make sure you're sending enough information to give it the quality. Otherwise you're gonna over exhaust your encoder, because it's trying to send everything in the shortest amount of bit rate. You can only compress something so much. So if you don't understand that, you got to realize that's what it's doing. It's taking everything that you're sending it, and if you've got that much data, you can't fit it in 25. It's going to exhaust the encoder. It can't compress it. It's not going to get enough information. You're going to get flickering. You're going to get buffering. So. All right, I think I got it covered. Any questions, comments, anything, and just any questions, leave a comment, and I'll I'll answer you directly, or if I get a lot of the same, I'll answer it and I'll post it. I'll put it in the description. I'll just answer your comment on the fly. Try to make sure you guys get this set up for you. It's pretty much it, you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I'm gonna put something over here or over there. You guys can go check it out. And I got other. So I'm gonna have other videos coming out for helping you with thumbnails and stuff like that for free, because they got some cool software that is like, I cannot believe GIMP is actually good. Like, you can open up pages. Wow, I've not played with GIMP for like a year and to like 3 years, and wow, it's like it's getting way better. I'm amazed. I'm amazed with the free software has actually come in the last couple years. It's looking way more productive and a lot easier to use than it used to be. So I plan on coming. I'm like thumbnails, and then I got a live stream. I might live stream later tonight, or I don't know, I live stream randomly. So look out for those. If you're subscribed, if you can subscribe. It'll be right over here somewhere. Probably down over there. All right. Later, everybody. Wrong button. Where is my OBS? Let's stop recording.